Peace to all of your brothers and sisters. Welcome back in Sufi Magic. Today I'm going to continue the knowledge of a journey starts 14 billion years ago. So the next stage is to understand the sky, because humans' relationship with sky is far old and far more deep. We have been looking into the sky for centuries. We even have names for those who like the sky. For example, we named him a nephophile, whoever likes the sky and its clouds. We labeled someone as astrophile, whoever likes the sky and its roars, whoever likes the sky and its rain. We named him pluviophile, whoever likes the sky and its stars. We called him an astrophile, and whoever loved the sky and its moon has been called a selenophile. But the question is, what exactly is the sky? But before I tell you further, I would like to share an experience with you. Before I wrote this chapter, I had interviewed 20 people that what is sky in your opinion? Someone answered that the blue thing we see above is sky, and someone answered that somewhere far above there must be a white shield which would presumably called sky. Someone answered that the clouds are probably the sky. There were so many interesting answers, to be honest. Let's take a look at science. That what is sky according to science? The blue thing is actually just the atmosphere. And it is blue because when sunlight enters our atmosphere, and sunlight is made up of 7 colors, then the blue color is separated from all the other colors because of the gases present in our atmosphere, because the wavelength of the blue color is the shortest of all the other colors. And in the evening the blue disappears and the red takes over, because then the sun is closer to the horizon and the atmosphere between us and the sun is almost 38% denser than the normal atmosphere in the sky. But how far above this atmosphere is? The science does answer this question. That 6.5 miles above you will find the atmospheric layer called troposphere, and almost all the climate of our Earth is present in this layer of atmosphere. Clouds, rain, storms, all the life in the world lives inside this layer. Even the farthest looking clouds are actually inside this layer. But what is above that? Above that, there is a 31 miles thick layer which is called stratosphere. Surely you must have heard of ozone layer, which protects the planet from the harmful rays of the sun. Some of the commercial flights fly in lower regions of this layer, and some spy jets fly in the middle region of this layer. But what is above that? Above that, there is a 53 miles thick layer called mesosphere. Life is not possible for humans there, because the temperature can be 90 degrees centigrade, and there is almost no air or oxygen. When meteorites enter this layer, they start burning. The meteorites, the mysterious stones about which I will tell you in the 10th chapter. But what is above that? Above that there is another 300 miles thick layer which is called thermosphere. This is the place where most of our satellites are rotating around the planet, and this is the place where the most beautiful dark green lights are born, which are called the aurora lights, one of the most beautiful night shows of our planet, and my most favorite, the aurora lights. But what is above them? Above that there is an imaginary boundary of our planet called the common line, because after this, the greatest expansions of empty space begins. Spread out trillions and trillions of miles into deep space, so far into space that the light from Z11 must take 14 billion years to reach us. But where was sky during all this? And what is above that? Science cannot help us above that, because those places are out of the realms of knowledge of science. What mysteries lie in there? Where will we see the sky? How must sky look like, and what is above the sky? For that now, the source of our knowledge is Quran and Hadith. Quran speaks about the descending of water at least 22 times, that we descended the water from the sky, but the watery clouds are just at the elevation of 2 kilometers, so we need to find more clues about sky in the Quran. At least 3 times, Quran speaks about the sky as a safe roof. At least twice it is mentioned that this safe roof is also secured so that it does not fall. At this point it starts to seem as if sky is protecting us from something, and also as if it too has been secured from something. Does that mean that the sky might be the name for ozone or any other similar protecting layer? Perhaps still, the clues are not enough, so we must study Quran deeper for a better understanding of the sky. The chapter of Surah Tariq speaks about a strange property of the sky, that it returns over and over again. Now whoever is aware of climatology, meaning the study of the climates, they are aware that there are only 4 seasons, meaning winter, summer, autumns and spring. But the climate is actually of 12 types, which is influenced directly from atmosphere in the sky, which is written from the sky over and over again to the earth. For example, rain, fog, precipitation, snowfall, storm, winds, all of them return to earth over and over again, influenced directly from the sky and the atmosphere. In the sky, at least 3 times it is so mentioned that the sun, the stars and the moon are also in the sky. Twice it speaks about the decorating stars, that they too are in the sky, and thrice it speaks about the pillars that are in the sky. For example, the Surah Hajj's 16th verse of the chapter of stones says that the beautiful pillars are placed in the sky. For those who see exactly which pillars those might be, who can say? But a picture was taken in 1995 that was called one of the 10 most beautiful pictures ever taken. It was such a beautiful picture that it was photographed many more times afterwards. 3 towering pillars which were in fact exactly called the pillars of creation, which have been a source of beauty, comfort, and admiration for those who are watching. At this point, it becomes crystal clear that the sky is a great expansion upwards. Besides the sun, the moon and the stars, Quran gives us more properties of the sky. For example, burning flames that chase and catch such mysterious stars which eat the entire galaxies without leaving a trace. In fact, in Quran, I even found the references to such stars that can have a tail 6 million miles coming behind it, but all of it at its right time. First, we must continue our journey upwards in the sky. Such wonderful creations, the pillars, sun, stars, cannot be only just in the Milky Way. Stars, in fact, are there in the other galaxies. Our own galaxy Milky Way contains about 400 billion stars, and our sun is just one of them. Our neighboring galaxy contains 2.5 times more stars than our Milky Way. That means more than 1 trillion stars, and there are some 2 trillion galaxies out there. Just like Milky Way and Andromeda. Is it all in the sky? Where is the highest limit? Further research in Quran guided me to at least 4 places where it speaks about the expansion and the highest limits of the sky, and 2 of them are crystal clear. For example, the chapter of Surah Ghashiyah, do they not see how the sky has been elevated? Or the chapter of Surah Dariyat, we have created the sky with our own hands and we are the one to expand it. Looking at all these clues, finally start to build an understanding in front of us that the expansions of the sky start actually just above us and its expansion goes much high. But is there any limit to this great expansion? The answer is yes, there is a limit to this great expansion. A boundary which is mentioned in fact in Surah Al-Nazi'at and Surah Al-Rahman. Is the sky more difficult to create or you? Surah Nazi'at, Allah is the one who created it and elevated its samak, meaning the outer boundary. And the second verse is a very mighty one which also carries a challenge in it. Surah Rahman, O jinn and humans, if you have the authority to leave the boundaries of sky and earth, then leave. Without power you cannot leave. Flames of fire and smoke shall be released upon you, and you will not be able to protect yourself. Do you get the point? That after these huge expansions, the distances which neither can I explain, nor can you understand, somewhere there must come a place where there will be a samak of the sky, meaning an outer layer of the sky, whereupon reaching, there shall be released flames and smoke, and perhaps that place is the boundary of the expansion of the sky of our world, the outer surface of the sky. The limit of the sky and the expansion of the sky starts from just above us, from our atmosphere, and goes all the way up above until its summit, its outer layer. This is the reason why water is descending down from this sky. This is the reason why the sun, the moon, and the stars are floating inside this sky. This is the sky which is decorated with the stars. Sky is actually a huge expansion, starting just above from our heads, expanded trillions and trillions of miles upwards, which finally has a boundary somewhere far, far above. But before I tell you about that, I want to tell you some of the things during my research work in Quran. On 4 points, I observed about the design of the sky. On 6 places, I observed the clues about creatures in the sky. On 3 places, I observed the rizq descending down from the sky. On 6 places, I observed the doors and pathways of the sky. On 2 places, I observed the emotions of the sky. On 2 places, I observed the jinnat and shayateen traveling in the sky. On 3 places, I observed the places that ascend and descend in the sky. On 16 places, I observed the destiny of the sky, what will eventually happen to it. And on 5 places, I observed Allah, the Creator, everything, swearing upon the sky, one of His greatest creations. On time, I will share all of these things with you, one by one. For example, the creatures who live in the sky. For example, the things that ascend and descend into the sky. For example, the doorways and pathways of the sky, or what will finally happen to the sky. And on 7 places in Quran, I observed the number of skies, that they too are 7. And from here on, I will tell you about those 7 skies. It has become very clear now that up to this point, reaching through science would have been impossible. So through the Quran and Hadith, I explored more about the composition of the skies, and in a book from a 14th century Egyptian scholar, Jalaluddin as-Suyuti's book, As-Samaya fil Hayat as-Samiyya, I discovered a detailed description and the composition of these 7 skies. And now I will tell you what lies beyond the common line, the last frontier of mankind's reach, the last boundary of this great expansion which starts from above us, is the first sky, which is the sky of the earth. It is made out of water and it is called rakia, and probably because of this water, smoke will be released to anyone who dares reaching it. According to Surah Rahman, Hadith of Miraj tells us that this is the sky where Adam and Eve are living now, and according to some traditions, this was the sky where Prophet Muhammad saw an angel called Habib, built half with fire and half with ice. I want to share something with you about the water of this sky. Roman Emperor Heraclius wrote a letter to Muawiyah. He requested to tell him the things which people often ask about, but the answers should only be from the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Muawiyah sent that letter to Ibn Abbas so he could answer it better. This letter carried a question about Mujara, and Ibn Abbas answered that Mujara is like a door in the sky, which acts like a barrier between here and there. It is the kind of a barrier through which nothing can pass, not even the heat, not even the temperature. I also discovered about Mujara that it is a liquid that is alive, a kind of water that is alive, although I couldn't verify this tradition from another place. But if it is correct, then the first sky is made of such water which is alive. It contains such doors through which nothing can pass, not even the temperature. Above it, there is the second sky made of white pearls. It is called Ars-Filaun. According to Hadith, Prophet Isa and Prophet Yahya are living there. Above that, there is the third sky which is called Qaidam and is made of pure iron. In this third sky Prophet Yusuf lives, and according to some traditions, this is the sky where Hazrat Israel, the angel of death. Above that, there is the fourth sky which is made of pure brass, and it is called Mauna. It is where Prophet Idris lives, and there lives an angel called Kisfail, who is the angel of tears. Above that, there is the fifth sky which is called Rik, made out of pure silver. There lives Prophet Harun, and that is where the custodian of hell, Malik, lives, Malik, who commands some of the most mysterious angels who are mentioned in Surah Alk referred with the name of Zabaniya, but the details about angels will come up in the second chapter. Above that, there is the sixth sky, which is called Ak. It is made out of pure gold and pure stones of red color, where Prophet Musa lives. But before I tell you further, I wish you to imagine just for a second a sky made of pure gold and red rubies. Surah Najm speaks of a great tree there, whose roots are there in the sixth sky and its branches reach high up in the seventh sky. The tree is called Oak Tree of the farthest boundary. It is a berry tree whose leaves are large and its fruit is like large pots. Beetles made of pure gold are flying around this tree, and Muhammad reports that on the night of Ascension, when this tree was covered with the order of Allah, the color of that tree changed in a way that I never even knew those colors. No living being of the world can describe how beautiful those colors are. And then there is the seventh sky, which is called Ariba, which is also known in the people of the book as Araboth. This is the sky where the Prophet Ibrahim lives. It is made of such light which humans cannot understand. The branches of Oak Tree can only reach up to this place. Whatever goes from below is stopped here, and whatever comes from above is received from here. But what is above that? From this moment onwards, I will be very careful, and I request you to listen very carefully. Above that, there is the throne of God, which is carried by 8 great angels. This throne is made of red ruby, and there is the great chair above the throne. And this is the limit of all the knowledge that was ever there of anyone, including mankind. Above that, there is the Lord of the throne, Allah, the Lord of everything, my Creator, your Creator, the Lord of whatever I have written or spoken and writing about. Above the throne, I feel a certain kind of fear. There is a place on the right side of the throne where everything is written. Lohi Mahfuz. Allah has made it with pure white pearls. Its pages are made of red rubies, and its writing is written with light. This is where everything is written, about everything that was ever there, and about everything that there will ever be. And whatever Allah wills is written in it. Its base is made of pure white stone, and it is placed in the lap of an angel. Allah, the Lord of everything, looks at it 360 times in a day. Prophet Muhammad reports that the 7 skies compared to the throne are like a ring in a huge desert, and the throne compared to the great chair is like a ring in a huge desert. Just pause for a second and imagine what you just heard. Can your brain truly understand these great expansions? Can I truly explain these greatnesses to you? Perhaps never. It was never meant for any creation to fully understand these things. Do you remember me saying in the very beginning that nearly all the cultures in the world speak of a mighty force creating everything and speaking some words, but no culture could tell what words were those? Even theoretical physics has a theory that before the creation, many universes were floating among many forces, for example the force of gravity, etc. And after every few trillion years, these universes collide with each other, resulting a massive bang, a big bang. The reason of this collision might either be unimaginably powerful force of gravity or according to this theory, a force which is unknown to us. I don't know what do you make of these last words, but when I was writing these words in this chapter, I actually smiled because in Quran, I found this unimaginably mighty great force mentioned at least 7 times. When we wish something to be, we order it be, and so it becomes the most unimaginable and most powerful force that ever existed. For force of kun, fayakun, the word of God, this universe and the mysteries hidden in it has always been one of the biggest questions of mankind. Imran bin Hussein once visited Prophet Muhammad and tied his camel on the front of the door. Imran also saw some of the people from Yemen also visiting the Prophet, and he heard them saying, "O Prophet of Allah, we have come to know from you how this universe came into being." Prophet started to tell them how Allah had always been there, He was all alone and his throne was placed above the water. He wrote everything in the Lohi Mahfuz and created the skies and the earth. The prophet was still telling, but someone shouted to Imran that, "Imran, your camel has broken off," and ran away. And as Imran heard of this, he too ran after the camel, and he saw that the camel had reached far into the desert. And later Imran was heard saying, "I swear by God, I wish I had let that camel escape, but had heard what the prophet was telling. If I be honest, I too wish that the she-camel had not broken off that day." And Imran bin Hussein would have reported us what Prophet had told that day. Allah knows how many secrets would have been uncovered by Prophet that day, exactly the way how Prophet Muhammad reported about Prophet Musa meeting with that mysterious personality and his inability to be patient during their trip, and said, "May Allah have mercy upon Musa. If he just had been patient, Allah would have revealed many more of those mysteries to us." Today's chapter was just the beginning of our journey. From today on, I'm going to tell you more of the chapters in which we will take guidance from Quran, Hadith and the modern scientific knowledge to uncover the mysteries of the universe. May Allah bless you.